All right, everybody. What is up, YouTube?
What is up, YouTube?
I'm currently really thinking hard about the beginner program, like if I was to have somebody start in the gym. Now, this is the thing, right? So there's a few ways we got to tackle this, and maybe I can get some thoughts on this. If I'm making a program for a beginner, is this a beginner who just wants to just do general fitness? Or is this a beginner whose goal is bodybuilding? Or is this a beginner whose goal is powerlifting? Because the training program would change based off that, right? It may be a little bit different. That's going to be very important. Is regardless of what it is, if you're just starting out, you need to get reps in. Not a lot, not talking like 30, 40, 50 every time, right? We don't need that. We don't need that. That's cardio.
Oh! Ew, dude!
Anything above 30 is kind of we need reps, and we need quality reps, right? Like you need to get, because you're training your mind and your body at the same time to do an exercise correctly, even when you're starting to get to the point where your body wants to quit. Technique and form is like a huge deal, because no matter what your goal is, powerlifting, bodybuilding, CrossFit, calisthenics, form is going to dictate progress, right? Because you can't really progressive overload crappy form. Like no matter how strong you may have of a back, if you're deadlifting like with crappy form, your risk of injury is extremely high, and you're ineffectively pulling weight. So is it really that you're not really pulling to your max potential in the first place? So you're actually leaving a lot of room for growth on the table. So when you're just beginning, when you're doing exercises, when you're watching my channel, other channels, and you're really wanting to figure out, okay, I really want to get really good at doing the incline bench press. That would be a staple movement for me in a beginner's program, an intermediate program, or an advanced program. Would be the incline. This is where it kind of can be up to you, right? So it also depends on your equipment. Are you going to do barbell or are you going to do dumbbell? Does barbell affect your shoulders? If it affects your shoulders, you kind of already been forced into the option of dumbbells. And so whichever one you choose, stick with it for the entire training program. But when you're doing it, especially as a beginner, you're trying to just learn the movement pattern. So, and you're not going to have a ton of weight yet to really start to build strength and size, because when you're just first starting off, strength and size are like pretty much right beside each other, growing at the same rate-ish, right? Like you're going to put on a ton of muscle very quickly. You're going to get strong very quickly. You're going to make like a crap ton of jumps and weight as you get more and more efficient at the movement. Everything's going to be firing right. You don't have any injuries yet because you're just starting out, hopefully, unless you've had some before during a different sport or something like that, or just normal life. But relatively, you won't have any sport-related injuries if you're just starting. So you're going to be as fresh as you can be, right? And so the main goal that you should have is getting amazing form. Even whenever you get to the point where you can't do, if you're questioning the next rep, really try to dig deep and think about the form. Because the technique and the form is what allows you to efficiently generate the highest amount of force you can, right? So like, for example, in the deadlift, I just dropped a video on how to unlock your potential with your deadlift. And I see a lot of people get the bar, they'll let the bar come away from their body. It'll come away from their body by about an inch or two. That doesn't seem like a lot, but when you're talking about keeping, weight to your center of gravity, that's a huge deal. Because now you can literally feel the weight pulling you forward. So now you're not only pulling the weight back and up, now you're having to fight the weight wanting to go forward, which causes you to have to use a lot of lower back in an unstable position. So your ability to produce force effectively is low. And because it's low, you can't really lift as heavy or as hard or as focused or as controlled as what you want. And that's just no bueno, especially it's like learning how to run with terrible form. Like, you're not going to run that fast. And even if you do start to run fast with terrible form, that's not good either, because it means that you could have even ran faster if you did learn how to run right. And that would be my number one goal, right? Is get you I'm trying to decide on which exercises would be the ones I think that would lead to the most growth and carry over, between strength and muscle size, because at this point you're trying to get both up there. Because as you increase your strength, it gives you the opportunity also for more muscle damage, right? Being able to squat 400 very well is going to give you the opportunity to get more muscle damage than squatting, 135 very well. So you got to get a little bit of both in there. And then I got to keep it to the point where you're not going to be able to, work out 2-3 hours. I don't do that in the first place. So I got to keep, I want to keep it around an hour-ish, give or take 15 minutes, depending on how long you need to rest. And decide the exercise selection that's going to give you the most benefit for everything. Now, I will say this. If you can do 2-a-days, and well, I don't mean like 2-a-days like lifting wise, but like, for example, I do my weight training in the morning. I do my cardio in the afternoon after I get home, because I have a bike at my house. So I get on the bike, I throw on some TV, I hang out with the family. 45 minutes is what, 30 to 45. Or I'll do, maybe some high intensity and then drop the time down on the bike. And I do the bike because it's low impact, so I don't have to worry about my lower back. It's just getting heart rate up, moving the body. So just keep an eye out for the program once I gather it up. I'm really thinking hard on this. And additionally, if you already are working out, whatever you're doing, really focus on your technique and form. I can't say that enough. I'm hoping that came across in this video of how important it is, because that's a game changer. Whenever you can push yourself to almost a complete failure without technique breakdown, you are in a very good spot, because you have a ton of opportunity for growth. And why do I always say opportunity instead of like you are going to have growth? The opportunity for growth comes from effort. And so you have to apply effort first off. So that's a separate video. That's why you'll always hear me say opportunity. So I hope this helps. See you guys on the next one. Keep an eye out. The mass builder is coming for beginner. See y'all. Peace.